Hey, true believers. Chris Mack coming at you with another awesome weekend figure review. Today we are going over the Marvel Legends Cosmic Ghost Rider Frank Castle action figure. And guys, this thing is massive and awesome. If you guys want to pick this up, I would definitely say if you are local, I saw that Age of Comics has one left. If not, then wherever you're at, please make sure to check out your local comic shop first and foremost. And if not, I saw that this thing is sold out on Dorkside Toys, sold out on Big Bad Toy Store, and Megapolis, from what I saw, does not have it. However, DMW, All Things Marvel, currently has one in stock. So if you've been looking for it, check that place out as well. And I love these type of figures where, you just these big boxes like so, and I just love that motorcycle. I can't wait till we get into that. Love the Cosmic Ghost Rider logo that they came with for the series, which if you guys haven't read the Thanos Wins where they first introduced him, oh, it's so good. You get that cool little Marvel Legends thing there. You flip it around this way, get a little bit of a focus because this thing is huge. I like this product shot they use of Frank there just roar, going down, you know what I mean? You come around to the back and you get a very, very cool product shot, plus a read-up and some other stuff here on the side, which I will make sure to pause so you can get a closer look at it. And then you come around here to the side again, you get that really nice product shot that we need to focus in on because this thing gets so close to the camera because it's so wide. But yeah, great work there. Come back around to the front, and it just makes you want to get that action figure out of the box right now. But we got to look at the top, which, you got that nice varnish look with that really cool Ghost Rider logo. Come to the bottom, you see how much I paid for it, all the legal mumbo jumbo. No one cares. But what we do care about is this thing actually as cool as the packaging makes it look? So let's get Frank Castle out of the box and get a closer look at him. Here's the Cosmic Ghost Rider out of the packaging, guys. And again, this is one of those ones that I'm so glad that my expectations were subverted, because when I bought it, I was just like, it's all right. It's just a packaged motorcycle figure. But when you take him out and you start putting the bike together and seeing how Frank here sits on it, oh my God, this thing is so awesome. I think that this is one of the best motorcycle package pieces that Marvel Legends has put out to date. I mean, some of the other ones look really nice, but maybe it's just because I'm partial to the story arc that Donny Cates did, that this is just something special to me, guys. So yeah, if y'all are a fan of Thanos Wins and the standalone Cosmic Ghost Rider series, this is definitely the figure you want for your collection. So now we've kind of had a moment to sit here and gush and see the figure in its entirety. Let's go ahead and start looking at a closer, in-depth detail of the accessories that this awesome figure comes with. So some backstory on the Cosmic Ghost Rider. His first appearance is in Thanos number 13 from the 2018 run done by Donny Cates. And in this universe, oh man, things are insane. So what happens is Earth falls to Thanos, the Mad Titan. Frank Castle dies, goes to hell, and what he does is he makes a deal with Mephisto to come back because he wants vengeance on Thanos. So he comes back as a Ghost Rider, just a regular Ghost Rider. And even because the Earth died due to Thanos, Frank wandered for years and years, and he slowly loses his mind. Like when I first read this series, I thought that this Cosmic Ghost Rider was Deadpool from the way that it was written. So spoilers, but it's an older series, so I don't feel too bad spoiling that there. And if you want me to do a review over that run, let me know down in the comments below. What happens is he eventually runs into Galactus and makes a deal with him, and he's given cosmic powers by Galactus, and he becomes the Herald. And they want to team up and take down Thanos. Well, something happens. I don't want to give away the whole story because I want you guys to read it in its entirety. It is absolutely phenomenal. So if you want to know, you can either pick up the singles or the collected trade. And then after you read that Thanos wins, Rain's run, check out Cosmic Ghost Rider #1, because that story is just as equally bat poop crazy, but good nonetheless. So with all that said, let's check out Frank and all his accessories here. So we'll start with the bike, because this thing is intricate and awesome. I love how the gunmetal gray on the bike matches Frank's armor. And I love the blue all throughout it. The handlebars are sweet. Now, part of the bike, when you take it out of the packaging, comes like you have to do some assembly. So it's not too hard. It's pretty self-evident. And I like that for the stand, you can't really see it that well from the whitewash here, but yeah, I'm glad that they made this more translucent. As with the Professor Xavier, he has a little puff that goes up under his chair. And to me, that one looks like a fart. So I'm glad that this one is not as noticeable if you're going to put it on a stand, or when you're doing photography, that's going to blend in more with the background. I love the cosmic ball here. Putting that together was fun. And inside there's, let's see if I can get it open, these little white things to just kind of give it some extra oomph. And you just connect it there on the front of the bike. The only thing though, the same thing with these little blue hinges here and the blue hinges on Frank's hand. I personally wish that these were translucent. That would have been cool. But c'est la vie, it is what it is. And then on the bike, when you take the guns, so we'll bring the bike in, pop out one of these guns here, and we'll go over the gun real quick. So again, you'd think that all this gunmetal gray would get really boring, but it really enhances the figure. And I like all the little details on the gun grip. You know, the front, you know, there's only so much you can do. Looks really nice. And then it comes with this little flame effect, which is really cool. I like all the little springy, as I like to call it, flames popping off. And they're interchangeable, so they pop into either gun like so. So let's grab the other one. And what's cool is both guns look different. So like for this one, this looks something more like you'd see in Halo. But see how they both have the different designs, so at least you're not getting two of the same thing, so that's kind of neat. And I like that, the blackness, that gunmetal blackness. There's a little bit of gray. I think it's more black, but you know, I could just be talking out my butt. But the details are nice. And then on the bike, I believe the little holsters on the back are interchangeable. So I usually like to put them in like so. Move the flame effects out of the way. And I like to put it where, you know, he can reach back and grab them with his hand. So just for the sake of the review, put them like that. They sit in relatively nice. And they're interchangeable too, so that's cool. I like the flame here on the back. That is cool, and it has that translucentness to it. So when you're doing photography, if you throw a light on there, that's going to look great. I love all the exhaust pipes. The only thing that I will say that I kind of wish is I wish either the tailpipes would have got their own flame effects, or I wish that they would have made these where you could pop them in, because sadly they don't fit. But you know, if you get creative and grab some other effects like from an Iron Man or something, I'm sure you could stuff them in there, or use some tacky tape. So that's just a slight complaint, nothing really to worry about. I love the intricacy of the metal here, all those little lines, that's great. I love when they add detail like that, really makes the piece for me. So yeah, the bike is absolutely beautiful. Frank sits in there great. You just have to kind of work the handlebar, and same with when you're putting the guns in his hands are a little tight. So that's kind of a gripe. I hate when you have to fight, because you don't want to bust the hand. Because if you look here, see how close the thumb is with the fingers? So you have to be ever so careful popping that bad boy in. And they sit a little loose, but that's all right. Looks good nonetheless. So that's the bike. Let's put that back there. Went over the guns. Now this whip, I wish, now I don't know how they would do this, but I wish that they would have made this where you can naturally wrap him around him, because in the comics, every cover that they did for the Ghost Rider, you know, they always accentuated the chains wrapped around his body. So I wish they would have done something, how to make it where you can still make it like he's whipping it. So it's kind of a trade-off. I just kind of wrapped this handle up under here, and then I just used some tape to kind of put it on his back. I'm sure you could use some double-sided tacky tape, or, you know, if you guys have any other creative ways, let me know down in the comments. But we'll go over the whip now. Let me get that tape off there and get that unwrapped around his body. And I think this thing looks beautiful. See, it's how it's kind of wrapped now. The flame effect, really, really gorgeous in my opinion. I love that orange, a little bit of red, and that yellow. See how it just really pops in the light, so that looks great. And then you can either put it in either hand, so if you want the flame closer to his hand, or if you want it flaring out, so that's kind of what I did. We pop it in his hand. I think doing it this way, let me get a focus so you guys are looking at a blurry image. But yeah, you get him sitting there on his bike with his whip. That is good stuff all around, guys. Love that whip. That is some really good stuff. Now, with all the accessories out of the way, let's go ahead and take a look at the figure himself. I love the head sculpt. I think that flaming red skull looks gorgeous. And then what I appreciate is so he's not always looking one way, is you can actually pop the helmet off. It's just a clear glass dome. So you can turn the head and kind of mess with the flame too, so it doesn't look unnatural as you're turning it, so you can get whatever you want. We'll get more of the articulation here in a bit, but I just wanted to showcase that. And of course, with the Cosmic Ghost Rider, you have to have that Punisher skull on the body, and I like that it's just warped. And you know, you get that gunmetal gray with the black wash and the red eyes with a little bit of the detail in there. And then just kind of the blue and red kind of cosmic stuff all the way through it. That looks nice. I love the way that the helmet piece here where it sits, all the little intricacies, that little dot there, and then the lines through, that just looks so beautiful. The belt, the way the skull teeth just drip over in there to just add some menacingness to it. Same with the spikes. Those things are gnarly. I would hate to get hit by one of those things. That is some intenseness right there. And then, you know, they flap, so you don't have to worry about fighting the arms. I like how the jacket looks sort of like medieval armor, but still looks like a leather jacket. Really good work on Hasbro's part there, man. The only thing, and then of course, you know, I got the elbow pads that look like metal, which is really neat. I like that. I just wish that these were transparent so that they would kind of flash more in the light. And then the same thing with the legs. It looks like knight's armor. You know, you kind of get the little bit of a mesh, and then of course the metal here. And that silver really helps with all that black right there, and the gunmetal gray too. That just looks so good. So you'd think that all this silver and black would really get old, but heck no, man. This is an absolutely gorgeous figure. I'm glad that he wasn't just an afterthought after putting so much detail into the bike. They did an absolutely great job with Frank Castle. Now for the articulation, the reason I'm leaving the bike in, and we're gonna go over this first, is there's not a whole lot of articulation, but what I appreciate is the stand here. You know, if you have it up a little ways, you can kind of, you know, get like a flying stance that way. You can tilt it down so make it look like he's coming at you. So if you put it, you know, prop it up a little bit, you can bring that down relatively cool. So I appreciate that the stand really allows for some different types of looks. I like that it's kind of, it looks like a ball hinge when you pop that thing on there. So yeah, I'm glad that there's actually a little bit of articulation to the bike on that stand. So that's cool. Now, as for Frank himself, the only real gripe that I have with him is the head, because when you take the mask off, like I said, you can spin it left and right, and you can twist the fire so you can kind of get different looks there. But he doesn't really, see how he doesn't look up, or he can look up that much, but he doesn't really look down all that much. And even though it has a little bit of the rock, nonetheless, getting him to look down is a pain in the butt. So I don't really, it's kind of like, rah! But yeah, whatever. Now, as I was talking about the flappiness of the spikes, the reason I appreciate that is so the arms can go up, and at least like the spikes, unlike some characters who have capes and whatnot, this does not hinder it. Though you still have to be careful if you're gonna try to do a 360 spin on the arm so you don't snap that little connection there. And then of course, double jointed elbows. Yes, thank God they got that right. And then he has the bicep swivel so you can articulate there. The wrists spin 360, can go down that much up, so that's cool. Legs can go out that much, kick out that far, go out about that far there. Now he doesn't have a waist swivel, but at the solar plex, he can still get a good range there, and it really kind of get that Macarena style going. The only thing is if you tilt him up too much, you can't really see it in this lighting, but just kind of like with the Storm figure, you can see the peg that keeps him straight. So be careful with that so you don't get that in your shots or, you know, in your posing. So you're just kind of like, oh man. And then the knees, double jointed knees. Feet can go up that much, can go down that far. And of course, ankle pivots. So the articulation both on the bike and the character, love it. Great stuff all around on both pieces here. So for size comparisons, here's Frank next to the Walmart exclusive Marvel Legends Thanos. And you can see the size scaling works so well, where Thanos just towers over both Frank and his bike, because he's the Mad Titan. You know, he's supposed to be able to kick all sorts of butt. So when you put these two characters together, oh man, it looks just almost comic accurate, because with his cosmic powers, he's able to rope this Thanos and take him to the future. What am I talking about? Read the series. But you know, you put these two characters together, guys, and it's gonna scale great, either on a shelf or if you do photography like I do, and we get these two into a fighting position. Oh man, I cannot wait to do some really cool shots with both of these guys. It's gonna look absolutely beautiful. So I hope that I've enticed y'all to pick up both of these figures. If you'd like to see a review on Thanos, let me know down in the comments below. This figure, to me, guys, is near perfect in terms of comic accuracy and just fun. As I said, the only three things against this figure that I can find is A, the guns are a little hard to put in the hands, but that's okay if you do a little bit of tinkering. I kind of wish that we had a little bit more articulation in the head, but because they put the flames around that skull, which looks really cool, I can understand why I can only twist left and right. So I'm going to go ahead and forgive that. And then the last thing that I wish, just because you see it in the covers and I kind of already went over, is I wish that this chain that he came with naturally wrapped around his body. Because in the comics, the way that they always expressed Frank in the Cosmic Ghost Rider is he has that chain always wrapped around him and it's always bright red. So I had to use a little bit of tape just in terms of photography. So, I mean, if you want to wrap it that way, or you can use that double-sided, what is that called, that tacky tape stuff that you use for posters, you can try that as well. So again, it always comes back to being creative. So that's how I was able in this aspect to get the chain to wrap around him. And it doesn't look too bad. And as you can see, once you get it around him, that really accentuates all that gunmetal gray. So yeah, guys, 10 out of 10 for me on this figure. This was one of those ones, as I said, that I was really on the fence about, but when I bought it, cracked it open and started messing around with it, I am one happy collector. So if you guys have enjoyed this figure, please first and foremost check with your local comic shop and see if they can get this figure in for you. And if not, then, you know, check out the online route or the secondary market or with just local collectors, because you never know who in your community will have what up for sale. And if you've enjoyed this review, we really would appreciate if you take a moment to hit like, share, and subscribe. It really helps the club channel grow, and we just greatly appreciate it. And if you wouldn't mind hitting that fancy little Ghost Rider bell next to subscribe, that way as we continue to upload content, you guys will get notified. Come to the channel, and we'd love to have a dialogue and hear feedback and just chat with y'all down in the comments below or on our social media pages, which I'll make sure to leave the links down in the description below. So stay tuned, photo slideshow up next. And with all that said, thank you so much for stopping by. Hope you all have an absolutely amazing day reading, and happy hunting, true believers.